A fossil so ancient and bizarre that scientists are questioning everything we thought we knew about evolution. It is a discovery that defies logic, challenges mainstream scientific understanding, and leaves experts scratching their heads. Found buried deep in the layers of Earth's past, this 400-million-year-old fossil is unlike anything previously documented. Its structure is so unusual that some researchers believe it may not belong to any known branch of life on this planet. The question remains, could this be evidence of an ancient alien species, or does it hold the key to a hidden chapter in Earth's evolutionary history? The scientific world has always been cautious when it comes to extraordinary claims. Every fossil discovery helps refine our understanding of life's progression, but every so often, something appears that simply doesn't fit. This is one of those discoveries. Some experts argue that it could be a long-lost evolutionary link, a creature that existed before life took its well-documented course. Others suggest a more controversial possibility. Could this be proof that life on Earth was influenced by something beyond our planet? This fossil was unearthed in a region known for harboring some of the oldest life forms ever recorded, embedded within sedimentary layers dating back over 400 million years. Scientists expected to find evidence of early marine creatures, primitive fish, ancient corals, or simple arthropods. Instead, they discovered something that bore no resemblance to the fossilized remains of Earth's known biological timeline. The features were so alien-like that paleontologists and evolutionary biologists found themselves at a loss for immediate classification. It is not just another extinct species. It might be something entirely unknown. The shock of this discovery is not just in its age but in its bizarre structure. Its skeletal framework, if it can even be called that, is different from anything seen in fossils of the same period. Certain aspects of its morphology suggest a level of biological sophistication that should not have existed at the time. This raises a troubling question. Was this life form an evolutionary anomaly, or could it be evidence of something far stranger? If this fossil truly predates the earliest known vertebrates and shows traits that do not fit within any known lineage, then evolutionary timelines may need to be rewritten. Some researchers have gone as far as suggesting that this discovery could provide support for the theory of panspermia, the idea that life on Earth was seeded by extraterrestrial influences. Others insist that it must be an extreme case of convergent evolution, an independent branch of life that simply developed traits resembling something beyond our understanding. There is no shortage of speculation, but the most pressing issue is evidence. Scientists have begun subjecting the fossil to advanced analysis, including biomolecular scanning and isotopic dating, to determine whether its composition aligns with known earthly organisms. Some results suggest unusual chemical markers, raising even more questions about its origins. The more they study it, the more the mystery deepens. If this fossil belongs to an unknown evolutionary path, it could force paleontologists to reconsider the entire history of life on this planet. But if its features cannot be explained by conventional biology, the implications could be far more profound. Could this be a remnant of an ancient civilization lost to time, or is it proof that life on Earth has a far more complex and uncharted history? One thing is certain, This discovery is unlike any before it. If the fossil turns out to be an unclassified life form, it could mean that Earth once hosted creatures beyond our current understanding. If it proves to be something more extraterrestrial in nature, it could change the way we think about life beyond our planet. Scientists are currently divided, with some urging caution and others embracing the possibility of a paradigm-shifting revelation. As more research is conducted, answers may emerge, but for now, the mystery remains unsolved. Could this 400-million-year-old fossil be proof of alien life, an evolutionary outlier, or something even more mysterious? This discovery challenges long-held scientific beliefs and forces us to confront the possibility that the history of life on Earth is far more complex than we ever imagined. The theories surrounding this fossil range from groundbreaking to outright shocking, but the undeniable fact remains: it exists, and it does not fit neatly into any existing framework. The journey to unravel its secrets is just beginning. The discovery, where and how it was found. The fossil was uncovered in a remote region where time itself seems to have stood still. Hidden beneath layers of ancient rock formations, it was discovered in what was once an ocean floor over 400 million years ago. The site, located in the vast, fossil-rich deposits of the Devonian period, has long been a treasure trove for paleontologists searching for early marine life. But no one expected to find a fossil that would defy classification. This remarkable discovery was made in the rugged terrains of the Miguasha National Park in Canada, a UNESCO World Heritage Site known for its well-preserved fossils from the Devonian period, often referred to as the Age of Fishes. Scientists have studied this region extensively, as it holds some of the earliest evidence of vertebrate life transitioning from water to land. It was the last place anyone expected to find something that appeared to be neither fully marine nor terrestrial, and even more bizarre, something that did not match any known evolutionary blueprint. A team of paleontologists from the University of Alberta, led by Dr. Richard Evans, was conducting routine excavations when they stumbled upon something that immediately stood out. At first glance, it looked like an ordinary fossilized imprint, but closer inspection revealed something extraordinary. The structure was unlike anything documented before. The specimen was carefully removed from the sedimentary rock and transported to a research facility for further analysis. What they found upon closer examination sent shockwaves through the scientific community. Determining the age of the fossil was a top priority. Scientists used a combination of radiometric dating and stratigraphic analysis to confirm that it was embedded in rock layers dating back to the Devonian period, approximately 400 million years ago. Radiometric dating, which measures the decay of isotopes within the surrounding rock, left no doubt about the fossil's staggering age. The results aligned with the geological timeline of the area, confirming that this organism existed at a time when Earth's life forms were predominantly aquatic. Initial reactions from experts were mixed. Some scientists were excited, recognizing that they had found something that could rewrite parts of evolutionary history. Others were skeptical, believing it could be a misidentified fossil or an anomaly caused by preservation distortions. However, as more details emerged, it became evident that this was no ordinary find. The fossil exhibited structural features that did not align with any known Devonian species. Its skeletal structure, or what appeared to be a skeletal framework, showed signs of advanced biological development. Unlike the early jawless fish and primitive vertebrates of its time, this specimen had characteristics that seemed out of place, features that should not have existed for another 100 million years or more. Its formation suggested an evolutionary leap that had never been documented in the fossil record. The strangeness of the fossil only deepened as researchers examined it further. Some elements of its composition hinted at an organism with a body plan that defied known classifications. It had structures that did not resemble gills or lungs, yet suggested some form of respiration that was neither fully aquatic nor terrestrial. Its appendages bore a striking resemblance to limbs but were arranged in a way that did not match early tetrapods. Even its cellular structure, when examined under electron microscopes, displayed anomalies that did not correspond with any known life forms from the Devonian era. Paleontologists debated whether this could be a case of convergent evolution, where similar traits develop independently in unrelated species. However, this theory fell apart when no evolutionary relatives could be linked to the fossil. The creature seemed to exist in isolation, with no clear ancestors or descendants, which is highly unusual in evolutionary biology. Every known species fits somewhere within the grand tree of life, yet this fossil stood alone, detached from any recognizable lineage. The discovery left scientists with more questions than answers. If this organism did not fit into the established evolutionary timeline, what did that mean for our understanding of life's development on Earth? Could this be evidence of an entirely separate branch of evolution that was previously unknown? Or was there an even more unsettling possibility, one that suggested life on Earth might have origins that extend beyond our planet? The deeper the research went, the more perplexing the fossil became. With no direct comparisons available, paleontologists struggled to classify it. DNA analysis proved inconclusive, as organic material had not been preserved well enough to provide genetic data. Fossilized remains are typically studied based on morphological structures, but in this case, the structures themselves did not fit within any known framework. It was an enigma in every sense of the word. As news of the discovery spread, experts from various disciplines weighed in. Evolutionary biologists speculated on the implications for the tree of life. Astrobiologists questioned whether this could be an example of exobiology, life that did not originate on Earth, and geologists examined the surrounding rock formations to determine whether the fossil's placement could be explained through geological processes rather than biological ones. Despite the skepticism, one fact remained irrefutable: the fossil existed, and it was over 400 million years old. With so much uncertainty surrounding the discovery, researchers knew that further investigation was necessary. More advanced testing, including isotopic analysis and high-resolution 3D modeling, was planned to understand the structure and origins of the fossil better. Until then, the scientific world was left grappling with a mystery that had the potential to redefine everything known about Earth's biological history. The question still lingers: was this an evolutionary anomaly, a missing link in life's history, or could it be something far more extraordinary? The implications of this discovery are immense, and as more details emerge, they could force a radical rethinking of where life came from and how it evolved. What makes this fossil alien-like? The moment scientists laid eyes on the fossil, they knew it was something beyond the ordinary. Its structural features were so bizarre, so unlike anything seen in the Devonian period, that even the most seasoned paleontologists were left speechless. The fossil did not resemble any known species from its era. It had a skeletal composition that seemed both rigid and flexible, a feature rarely seen in early life forms. Unlike fish fossils from the same period, which typically had defined vertebrae or cartilage-based structures, this specimen possessed an intricate framework that suggested an evolutionary advancement beyond what should have been possible at the time. Even stranger was the presence of what appeared to be limb-like appendages. In the Devonian period, most creatures were still confined to aquatic environments, with only a few species beginning to develop rudimentary structures that would later evolve into legs. But this fossil displayed an arrangement of appendages that was unlike anything seen in marine or terrestrial species of the time. These structures were neither fins nor true legs, yet they showed signs of articulation that suggested movement beyond simple swimming or crawling. Some researchers speculated that the creature may have had an alternative form of locomotion, one not previously documented in Earth's evolutionary history. Its body shape defied expectations. Instead of the streamlined form seen in early fish or the rigid exoskeleton of arthropods, this fossil appeared to have a semi-rigid, possibly segmented structure that was completely unique. Some parts of the fossil showed symmetrical formations, while others seemed asymmetrical, something not commonly seen in known evolutionary pathways. More alarming was its lack of recognizable sensory organs. No clear evidence of eyes, gill structures, or mouth parts could be identified in the fossilized remains, making it even harder to classify. If it lacked the basic biological markers of Earth's known organisms, then how did it survive? Comparing this fossil to other life forms of the Devonian period only made the mystery deeper. Most creatures in that era were early fish, primitive arthropods, and simple marine organisms. Some of the first jawed fish, such as placoderms, were beginning to appear, but they had clearly defined skeletal structures and fins. This fossil did not match them in any way. Even the first tetrapods, the distant ancestors of amphibians, had body plans that could be traced back through evolutionary history. This specimen, however, stood apart from everything else, as if it did not belong to any known branch of life. One of the most striking aspects was its surface composition. High-resolution imaging revealed microstructures that did not resemble scales, fur, or feathers, features commonly found in Earth's organisms. Instead, it had a surface texture that was almost alien in nature, with repeating patterns that did not follow any known biological function. If it was an exoskeleton, it was unlike any ever documented. If it was skin, it lacked the defining characteristics of any previously known species. The attempt to extract genetic material from the fossil was one of the most highly anticipated aspects of the study. If any biomolecular traces remained, it could provide insights into whether this was a truly unique branch of life or something entirely unexpected. Unfortunately, organic material does not typically survive for 400 million years, making DNA retrieval nearly impossible. However, some fossilized remains retain biomolecular markers that can provide clues about their origins. Researchers conducted isotopic analysis and used advanced spectrometry to search for remnants of ancient proteins. Some results showed unusual chemical compositions not commonly found in Earth's fossil record. There were traces of elements in proportions that did not match those seen in known Devonian life forms. Some suggested that this could be due to mineralization over millions of years, but others pointed out that the fossil's composition did not match the surrounding geological environment. This led to speculation that the organism may have originated in conditions different from those that existed in its burial site. The debate over whether this fossil represented an unknown evolutionary link quickly gained momentum. Every species discovered in the fossil record usually fits within the broader framework of evolutionary development, but this one did not. It had no clear ancestors, no known relatives, and no discernible connection to existing taxonomic groups. If it was part of an evolutionary lineage, then it was an entirely new branch, one that seemingly appeared and disappeared without leaving any traceable descendants. Some scientists proposed that this fossil might belong to a previously undocumented phylum, a category of biological classification that groups organisms with similar fundamental traits. If this were true, it would mean that an entire branch of life once existed on Earth, only to vanish completely. This has happened before in evolutionary history, as mass extinctions have wiped out entire species. However, the sheer uniqueness of this fossil made it difficult to accept as just another lost lineage. There was also another, more controversial possibility. If this organism did not fit into the tree of life as we understand it, could it be something entirely separate? Some researchers pointed to the idea that life on Earth may have been influenced by extraterrestrial factors, a theory known as panspermia. The notion that life, or at least biological material, may have arrived on Earth via comets, meteorites, or interstellar dust has long been debated. The strange chemical composition of this fossil and its unexplained biological features fueled speculation that it could be evidence of such a process. Theories ran wild. Could this fossil be a remnant of a failed experiment in evolution, a species that developed in complete isolation from everything else? Or could it be something even more extraordinary, an indication that life, as we know it, might have origins beyond our planet? The fossil did not provide easy answers, but it certainly raised some of the most profound questions in modern paleontology. If this fossil is eventually classified as a new type of life form, it will change how we understand Earth's evolutionary past. If it turns out to be something even more exotic, it could change how we understand the origins of life itself. Either way, the mystery of this 400-million-year-old fossil is far from solved, and the scientific community is only beginning to unravel its secrets. Theories: could this be proof of alien life? The discovery of the 400-million-year-old fossil has ignited a fierce debate among scientists, researchers, and even those fascinated by the possibility of extraterrestrial life. Some experts remain convinced that it is simply an unknown evolutionary anomaly, a missing piece in Earth's vast history of life. Others argue that its bizarre characteristics, lack of identifiable ancestors, and unexplained biochemical composition could indicate something far more extraordinary. If this fossil does not fit into any known evolutionary lineage, then could it be evidence that life on Earth was influenced, or even seeded, by an extraterrestrial force? The idea that this fossil could be linked to alien life is not as far-fetched as it might seem. Some astrobiologists suggest that the fossil's structure and its unidentifiable traits indicate a biological origin that is not entirely Earth-like. Several scientists have pointed out that the fossil bears no resemblance to any known species from the Devonian period. If this were an undiscovered branch of evolution, it would be expected to share some similarities with other species from that time, even in the most fundamental ways. Yet, every attempt to categorize it within existing classifications has failed. Could it be possible that this fossil represents one of the most discussed theories surrounding this discovery is the concept of panspermia. The idea suggests that life did not originate on Earth but was instead brought here by asteroids, comets, or other celestial bodies traveling through space. If biological material survived the journey to Earth billions of years ago, it could have served as the foundation for all known life today. Scientists who support the panspermia hypothesis argue that if life could be transported through space, then perhaps this fossil is evidence of an ancient species that arrived on Earth fully formed, rather than evolving here. Panspermia is not just a theoretical concept. It is supported by several studies showing that certain extremophiles, microorganisms capable of surviving extreme conditions, can endure the vacuum of space, radiation, and freezing temperatures. Experiments conducted on the International Space Station have demonstrated that some bacteria and fungal spores can survive long-term exposure to space, increasing the plausibility of the idea that life could be transferred from one planetary body to another. If microbial life could survive such a journey, could larger, more complex organisms have once existed elsewhere and made their way to Earth under the right conditions? This fossil also invites comparisons to theories about possible microbial life on Mars and other celestial bodies. In recent years, researchers have discovered Martian meteorites containing structures that some claim resemble fossilized bacteria. While these claims remain controversial, they demonstrate that the idea of extraterrestrial fossils is not entirely out of the realm of scientific discussion. If microbial life could have existed on Mars in the past, and if similar biological traces could be found on a fossil that is 400 million years old, it raises an important question: could Earth's early life forms have an interplanetary origin? NASA and SETI, the search for extraterrestrial intelligence, have long been invested in the study of life beyond Earth. While these organizations primarily focus on finding signs of microbial life in extreme environments such as Mars, Europa, and Enceladus, they have also explored the idea of ancient extraterrestrial influences on Earth. Some researchers affiliated with SETI argue that the presence of unexplained fossils, such as this one, should be investigated with an open mind. The possibility that this organism could be evidence of extraterrestrial origins cannot be dismissed outright, especially when considering that we still do not fully understand the mechanisms that led to the emergence of life on Earth. NASA's Astrobiology division has acknowledged that life, if it exists elsewhere, may not resemble anything we recognize. Most scientific models of extraterrestrial life are based on Earth-like conditions, but what if life can exist under entirely different biochemical principles? The discovery of organisms that use arsenic instead of phosphorus for DNA replication or that survive in environments without oxygen proves that life can take on many unexpected forms. If this fossil represents an organism that does not conform to our current understanding of biology, could it be an example of an ancient life form with extraterrestrial roots? Not everyone in the scientific community is convinced by these theories. Some experts strongly argue against the idea that this fossil could be alien in origin. Skeptics believe that the fossil, while undeniably strange, must have an explanation rooted in terrestrial biology. They argue that even if a species appears anomalous, that does not necessarily mean it is from another world. Throughout history, many fossils have baffled scientists upon their initial discovery, only to be later classified within existing evolutionary frameworks. Could this fossil be another case of an unusual but entirely Earth-bound species? Another argument against the alien hypothesis is the lack of direct genetic evidence. While some chemical analyses of the fossil have yielded unusual results, they do not necessarily indicate an extraterrestrial origin. The process of fossilization alters biological material over millions of years, and the presence of unfamiliar chemical signatures could simply be a result of geological processes rather than an indication of alien life. Additionally, the fact that no DNA could be extracted from the fossil further complicates any definitive claims about its origin. Without genetic material, there is no way to compare it to known Earth organisms or to determine whether it shares similarities with theoretical models of extraterrestrial biology. Some researchers propose an alternative explanation that does not require an alien connection. They suggest that the fossil may belong to an extinct evolutionary branch that developed in isolation and left no surviving relatives. Earth's history is full of mass extinctions and evolutionary dead ends. It is entirely possible that this fossil represents a short-lived experiment in biological evolution, one that was wiped out before it had a chance to leave a lasting impact on the planet's biosphere. If so, then its unique features may be an example of biological experimentation that was ultimately unsuccessful, rather than a sign of extraterrestrial intervention. Despite these counter-arguments, the fact remains that this fossil does not fit neatly into any known category. While many scientists remain cautious, others believe that the discovery represents an opportunity to expand our understanding of what life can be. Whether it is an evolutionary outlier, an unrecognized branch of life, or something even more extraordinary, this fossil challenges the way we think about biology, evolution, and the possibility of extraterrestrial influences on Earth. As new technologies emerge, allowing for more advanced analysis of ancient biological structures, the mystery of this fossil may one day be solved. Until then, it remains one of the most puzzling discoveries in the history of paleontology. Could it be an ancient traveler from another world, a missing chapter in Earth's evolutionary story, or something even beyond our current imagination? The answer to that question could change everything we know about life itself. A look back in time. What was Earth like 400 million years ago? The world was a vastly different place 400 million years ago. The landscape, the atmosphere, and even the life forms that thrived were unlike anything seen today. The Earth of the Devonian period, which spanned roughly 419 to 359 million years ago, was in a state of profound transformation. Continents were shifting, primitive plants were spreading across the land, and the oceans were teeming with new life forms. It was an era of evolutionary milestones, but it was also a time of violent environmental changes that shaped the course of life on the planet. The discovery of the fossil in this timeline raises profound questions. Was it a product of Earth's evolutionary process, or does its uniqueness suggest an origin beyond the known biological pathways? The conditions of Earth during the Devonian period were drastically different from today. The planet's atmosphere contained significantly higher levels of carbon dioxide, and oxygen levels were much lower than they are now. This had a direct impact on the types of organisms that could survive. The climate was warm and humid, with no polar ice caps, and large parts of the planet were covered by shallow seas. These warm, nutrient-rich waters allowed marine life to flourish, and the first complex ecosystems began forming beneath the surface. The continents of the time, including early versions of what we now call North America, Europe, and parts of Asia, were arranged in ways that bear little resemblance to their modern positions. The supercontinent Gondwana dominated the southern hemisphere, while smaller landmasses drifted in the northern regions. Life in the Devonian was dominated by marine creatures. This period is often called the Age of Fishes, due to the incredible diversity of aquatic species that emerged. Some of the earliest known jawed fish appeared during this time, including placoderms, armored fish that were among the top predators of their ecosystems. Cartilaginous fish, the ancestors of modern sharks and rays, also began to take form. Early bony fish, which would later give rise to modern fish species, were beginning to evolve, setting the foundation for future vertebrate life. Beyond fish, the Devonian oceans were filled with trilobites, ammonites, and primitive mollusks. Coral reefs flourished, creating underwater environments that supported complex food chains. While marine life thrived, the first significant steps toward land colonization were also taking place. Primitive plants, such as ferns and mosses, were spreading across the landscape, forming some of the earliest terrestrial ecosystems. By the middle of the Devonian, the first true trees appeared, giving rise to forests that would later play a crucial role in altering the planet's atmosphere. Insects and early arthropods began their conquest of land, laying the groundwork for future terrestrial animals. It was during this time that some fish began to evolve limb-like fins, a crucial adaptation that would eventually lead to the emergence of amphibians and the first vertebrates to walk on land. If the fossil in question belongs to this timeline, it should fit into one of these well-established evolutionary pathways. But the problem is that it does not. Unlike the jawed fish and primitive tetrapods of the Devonian, this fossil possesses characteristics that do not align with any known lineage. Its skeletal structure does not resemble that of any known early vertebrate, and its apparent lack of recognizable sensory organs challenges everything scientists understand about survival and adaptation. If this species had evolved alongside known Devonian creatures, it should share some common traits, yet it appears to stand alone in biological isolation. This makes it difficult to place within the existing framework of evolution. One possibility is that this fossil represents an extreme case of convergent evolution, where an organism independently develops features that resemble those of entirely unrelated species. Convergent evolution has been observed in many cases throughout history, such as the striking similarities between dolphins and ichthyosaurs, despite being separated by millions of years of evolution. However, the fossil's features do not just resemble those of a different species. They seem entirely alien in structure, making even convergent evolution an unlikely explanation. Geological and climatic conditions during the Devonian period may also offer clues about the fossil's origins. This was a time of significant geological change, with rising sea levels covering large portions of land and creating new shallow marine habitats. The expansion of early forests also had a major impact on the environment, as plants absorbed carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, gradually altering global temperatures and oxygen levels. These shifts may have influenced the evolution of new species, forcing life to adapt to changing conditions. However, this still does not explain how a life form so distinct from anything else in the fossil record could have emerged and then disappeared without a trace. Another theory suggests that the fossil could belong to a now extinct branch of life that existed in isolation. It is possible that during the Devonian period, there were unique ecosystems that were geographically or environmentally separated from the rest of the world, allowing species to evolve along entirely different paths. Some scientists have proposed that deep-sea environments, underground caves, or extreme conditions on isolated landmasses could have provided refuges for evolutionary experiments that did not survive in the long run. If this fossil originated from such an environment, it might explain why no related species have been found. There is also the possibility that the fossil represents a life form that developed under environmental conditions that no longer exist. Some scientists have speculated that Earth's early atmosphere and ocean chemistry may have allowed for different types of biological structures that are no longer viable today. If this is the case, then the fossil may be evidence of a form of life that thrived under conditions that no longer exist, which would explain why it does not fit into modern evolutionary models. Ultimately, the fossil remains a profound mystery. The Devonian period was a time of extraordinary biological and environmental changes, yet no known factors from that era can fully account for the unique features of this specimen. Whether it represents a missing evolutionary link, an undiscovered lineage, or something even more extraordinary, it challenges the conventional understanding of life on Earth. The ongoing analysis of this fossil may eventually provide answers, but for now, it stands as a reminder that there is still much we do not know about the history of our planet. If this fossil truly does not fit into Earth's known biological history, then the implications could be even more profound than we can currently imagine. Similar mysterious fossil discovery, the discovery of the 400-million-year-old fossil with alien-like features is not the first time scientists have encountered something that defies explanation. Throughout history, fossils have been unearthed that do not seem to fit within the established evolutionary timeline. Some of these discoveries have challenged scientific understanding, sparked heated debates, and even led to new theories about Earth's past. From fossils that predate their supposed evolutionary ancestors to artifacts embedded in geological layers where they should not exist, the mystery of the fossil record continues to raise profound questions. One of the most famous cases of a fossil discovery that baffled scientists was the coelacanth. Thought to have gone extinct around 66 million years ago, this deep-sea fish was rediscovered alive off the coast of South Africa in 1938. Its presence shook the scientific community, proving that some species can persist unchanged for millions of years. The coelacanth demonstrated that the fossil record is far from complete and that there may still be unknown species lurking beneath the surface, waiting to be discovered. Another fossil discovery that challenged conventional understanding was that of the Tully monster. Found in the Mason Creek fossil beds of Illinois, this bizarre creature, scientifically named Tully monstrum gregarium, has puzzled paleontologists for decades. With its elongated, soft body, stalked eyes, and a jaw-like structure at the end of a long proboscis, the Tully monster does not fit neatly into any known category of marine life. Initially classified as a worm-like creature, later studies suggested it might be a vertebrate, but even today, its exact evolutionary placement remains uncertain. The out-of-place, fossil phenomenon has fueled speculation that certain discoveries could rewrite parts of the evolutionary timeline. These fossils, known as anomalous fossils, appear in geological layers that conflict with their assumed age, sometimes predating similar species by millions of years. One example is the discovery of human-like footprints found in rock layers dated to hundreds of millions of years before the appearance of modern humans. Some claim these could be evidence of an advanced civilization that existed long before recorded history, while others argue that they are simply misidentified natural formations. One of the most famous controversial discoveries is the London hammer. This artifact, a hammer encased in ancient rock, was reportedly found in Texas embedded in a formation believed to be over 100 million years old. The hammer's head is made of iron, which contradicts mainstream historical knowledge about when humans began using such tools. While skeptics argue that the rock around it may have formed under unique geological conditions rather than being as old as initially claimed, the artifact remains a topic of speculation and intrigue. The case of the alien skeleton, found in the Atacama Desert of Chile, is another example of a fossilized discovery that fueled theories about extraterrestrial life. The tiny humanoid skeleton, known as the Atacama humanoid or ATA, had an elongated skull and appeared to have only 10 ribs instead of the usual 12 found in humans. Initial speculation ranged from it being an alien specimen to an unknown species of human. However, DNA analysis later confirmed that ATA was a human fetus with genetic mutations that caused severe skeletal abnormalities. This case serves as a reminder that even the most bizarre discoveries often have explanations rooted in science. The discovery of the Antikythera mechanism in a shipwreck off the coast of Greece in 1901 also raised questions about how advanced ancient civilizations may have been. While not a fossil, this intricate mechanical device, often referred to as the world's first analog computer, was found embedded in mineral deposits that suggested it had been lost for over 2,000 years. Its complexity far exceeded what historians believed the Greeks were capable of at the time, challenging assumptions about technological progress in the ancient world. Another case that caused controversy was the discovery of a supposed fossilized human finger found in Cretaceous-era limestone, suggesting that humans existed during the time of the dinosaurs. While some researchers argue that the structure is merely an oddly shaped rock formation, others believe that it may represent an unknown chapter in Earth's history. Similar claims have been made about tools and artifacts allegedly found in coal deposits that are millions of years old, adding to the intrigue surrounding out-of-place fossils. Despite these anomalies, history has shown that many mysterious fossil discoveries eventually find explanations within the framework of science. The Piltdown Man hoax is a cautionary tale of how initial excitement over an unusual find can lead to misinterpretation. Discovered in England in the early 20th century, the Piltdown Man was thought to be the missing link between apes and humans. It took decades before scientists exposed it as a deliberate forgery, created using a modern human skull combined with an orangutan jaw. This case serves as a reminder that skepticism and rigorous scientific analysis are crucial when evaluating extraordinary claims. Other fossils that were once considered inexplicable have later been explained through advances in technology. The giant human skeletons, reported in the 19th and early 20th centuries, were often found to be either misidentified dinosaur bones or exaggerated reports from unreliable sources. Similarly, many so-called out-of-place fossils have been redated using modern techniques, showing that they were not as old as initially believed. The 400-million-year-old fossil with alien-like features now finds itself among these anomalies, standing at the center of debate. Will it follow the path of the coelacanth, proving that life is more resilient and diverse than previously thought? Or will it turn out to be another case of mistaken identity, where scientific progress eventually provides a more conventional explanation? As researchers continue to investigate, the fossil remains one of the most compelling discoveries in recent history. Whether it represents a missing evolutionary link, an unknown species, or something truly unprecedented, its place in the fossil record is undeniable. Unlike past cases where hoaxes and misinterpretations clouded the truth, this fossil exists, and its mysterious features demand answers. If history has taught us anything, it is that the fossil record is full of surprises. Many discoveries once thought to be impossible have turned out to be real, forcing scientists to rewrite what they believed to be true. Others, upon deeper scrutiny, have been explained through more conventional means. The key to understanding the fossil lies in further research, more advanced testing, and a willingness to accept that history is often more complex than we assume. As new evidence emerges, this discovery may prove to be one of the most significant in the study of ancient life. Or, like many before it, it may eventually be understood through the lens of scientific progress. Either way, it serves as a powerful reminder that Earth's history still holds many secrets, waiting to be uncovered. What this means for science and human understanding. The discovery of a 400-million-year-old fossil with alien-like features is more than just an anomaly. It challenges fundamental assumptions about life's evolution on Earth and raises important questions about how we classify and understand biological history. If this fossil cannot be placed within any known evolutionary lineage, what does that mean for the theory of evolution itself? Evolutionary science is built upon the idea that all living organisms share a common ancestry, with gradual changes occurring over millions of years through natural selection and genetic mutations. Every fossil discovery serves as a puzzle piece in constructing the grand timeline of life. But what happens when a piece does not fit? If this fossil represents an evolutionary branch never before recorded, it could mean that significant gaps exist in our understanding of life's history. Scientists have long acknowledged that the fossil record is incomplete, but most discoveries fit within expected patterns. This specimen does not. If it is truly unrelated to any known lineage, it forces researchers to consider the possibility that evolution has taken more diverse and unexpected pathways than previously imagined. Some experts speculate that it could represent an evolutionary experiment that failed, an isolated species that developed in a unique environment and eventually died out before leaving any descendants. Others entertain the more controversial idea that life on Earth may have had influences or origins beyond what current models suggest. Science has a history of grappling with anomalies that disrupt long-standing theories. Every major shift in scientific thought has been met with resistance before ultimately leading to new understandings. When Copernicus proposed that the Earth revolved around the Sun rather than the other way around, his ideas were met with skepticism. When quantum mechanics emerged in the early 20th century, it fundamentally rewrote the laws of physics. The discovery of DNA's double helix structure changed the way scientists understood genetics. Each of these paradigm shifts began with an anomaly, an observation that did not fit within existing frameworks. The question now is whether this fossil represents one of those moments. The scientific method is designed to handle anomalies, but the process is slow and methodical. When a discovery like this occurs, researchers first attempt to classify it within existing knowledge. If that fails, they turn to alternative explanations, testing every possible variable to ensure the anomaly is not the result of misinterpretation, contamination, or an error in data collection. In cases where the anomaly persists, scientific institutions are often reluctant to accept revolutionary changes without overwhelming evidence. This is why extraordinary claims require extraordinary proof. If this fossil is to be accepted as something truly unprecedented, the burden of evidence must be beyond question. New technology is playing an increasingly vital role in how fossils are analyzed. In the past, researchers relied primarily on physical examination, comparative anatomy, and stratigraphic dating to understand ancient specimens. Today, advancements in artificial intelligence, machine learning, and high-resolution imaging allow scientists to analyze fossils at an unprecedented level of detail. AI algorithms can scan and compare fossils against massive databases, identifying patterns and connections that human researchers might overlook. Machine learning can predict evolutionary relationships by modeling possible genetic pathways, even in cases where DNA is unavailable. One of the most promising tools for studying mysterious fossils is advanced biomolecular analysis. Even when DNA cannot be recovered from ancient specimens, protein sequencing and isotopic analysis can provide clues about an organism's origins and environment. If this fossil contains traces of organic compounds that differ from known Devonian life forms, it could suggest that it belonged to a lineage previously unknown to science. If its chemical composition includes elements or isotopic ratios inconsistent with Earth's biological systems, it could open the door to even more extraordinary possibilities. As technology progresses, the study of paleontology is increasingly intersecting with astrobiology, the search for life beyond Earth. The discovery of this fossil has already sparked discussions about what it might mean for extraterrestrial research. If life on Earth has produced species so radically different from anything seen before, it raises the question of what might be possible elsewhere in the universe. One of the key challenges in the search for alien life is the assumption that extraterrestrial organisms would resemble Earth-based biology. But what if they do not? Astrobiologists have long debated whether life in the universe must be carbon-based, oxygen-dependent, and reliant on water as a solvent, as it is on Earth. This fossil complicates that assumption by presenting a biological structure that does not fit into conventional taxonomies. If Earth itself has produced organisms that seem entirely foreign, it suggests that life elsewhere might be even more diverse than previously imagined. Some researchers argue that instead of searching for Earth-like conditions on exoplanets, scientists should broaden their search parameters to include environments that might host entirely different forms of biology. The implications for future space exploration are significant. If this fossil demonstrates that extreme biological variations can exist within Earth's own history, it strengthens the case for studying extreme environments beyond our planet. Scientists already suspect that life could exist in the subsurface oceans of Europa or Enceladus, where liquid water remains hidden beneath thick ice layers. If organisms on Earth have evolved in unexpected ways, then alien life may have adapted to environments that seem inhospitable by human standards. The study of this fossil could therefore influence the way missions to Mars, Europa, and other celestial bodies are planned, shifting the focus toward detecting biological structures that might differ from our expectations. While the debate over this fossil's classification continues, its discovery serves as a reminder that science is a constantly evolving field. History has shown that knowledge is not static, and every major breakthrough begins with a question that challenges the status quo. If this fossil represents a previously unknown branch of life, it will force paleontologists to reconsider their models of evolution. If it suggests an external influence on Earth's biological development, it could revolutionize our understanding of the origins of life. The significance of this discovery is not just in its age or its physical characteristics, but in what it represents for scientific exploration. Whether it leads to the confirmation of a new species, a redefinition of Earth's evolutionary history, or even an entirely new perspective on life's place in the universe, it will be studied for years to come. Its existence alone proves that there are still great mysteries waiting to be uncovered, and it challenges us to keep questioning, keep searching, and keep pushing the boundaries of what we think we know. This fossil is more than just an artifact of the past. It is a gateway to the future of science, pushing the limits of human understanding and reminding us that the history of life is far from complete. Whatever the final conclusions may be, this discovery will leave a lasting impact, inspiring further research and possibly changing the way we look at evolution, extraterrestrial life, and the very origins of existence itself. The discovery of a 400-million-year-old fossil with alien-like features has shaken the scientific community to its core. It is not just another addition to the fossil record. It is an enigma that has yet to be placed within the grand narrative of Earth's evolutionary history. This fossil does not match any known species from its time period, it lacks clear evolutionary connections, and its structural features defy traditional classifications. Its very existence raises more questions than answers, leaving experts to wonder if it represents an undiscovered branch of evolution, an anomaly that developed in complete isolation, or even something more extraordinary. What makes this fossil so significant is not just its age, but the implications it carries for our understanding of life itself. Every species that has ever existed fits into the evolutionary framework, following a traceable path of adaptation and survival. This specimen, however, appears disconnected from everything else. Its body structure, lack of recognizable sensory organs, and unique biochemical composition suggest that it was not part of any known lineage. If it is indeed an evolutionary outlier, it means that life on Earth has taken paths we never anticipated, possibly including forms that have been completely erased from history. For decades, paleontologists have relied on the fossil record to trace the origins of life, piecing together the evolutionary puzzle from fragmentary evidence. Yet, every so often, a discovery comes along that does not fit. The coelacanth was once thought to be a missing link before it was found alive, proving that some species can survive in obscurity for millions of years. The Tully monster has remained a biological mystery for over half a century. The recently uncovered fossil joins this list of perplexing finds, but its potential impact could be even greater. If it turns out to be an entirely new classification of life, it would mean that the story of evolution is far more complex than previously thought. It would mean that unknown biological pathways existed long before modern vertebrates, possibly influencing the development of life in ways that science has yet to understand. Some researchers speculate that this fossil could represent an evolutionary experiment that did not succeed, a species that emerged, thrived for a time, and then disappeared before leaving any traceable descendants. If so, it would force scientists to rethink how species evolve and how many unique branches of life may have come and gone without a trace. What comes next in the study of this fossil will be crucial. Researchers around the world are now working to analyze it using the most advanced technologies available. High-resolution imaging and 3D reconstruction will provide detailed insights into its morphology. Isotopic analysis will reveal information about its environment and diet, shedding light on where and how it lived. If any biomolecular traces can be recovered, they may offer clues about its genetic relationships to other life forms. Scientists will also compare it to existing fossils from the Devonian period, searching for even the slightest similarities that could help place it within an evolutionary context. A major focus of ongoing research will be determining whether this fossil represents a unique, extinct branch of Earth's history or something even more profound. Some researchers are considering the possibility that it may have originated in an extreme environment, one that no longer exists today. If that is the case, it would explain why no related species have been found and why its features are so unlike anything else from the Devonian period. Others argue that the fossil's peculiarities suggest an alternative explanation, one that goes beyond conventional biology. Could this fossil be evidence of something beyond Earth? The mere suggestion of extraterrestrial origins is enough to cause controversy, but the idea is not without precedent. Scientists have long debated the theory of panspermia, the idea that life on Earth may have been seeded by microbial life from space. If organic material from an extraterrestrial source arrived on Earth billions of years ago, it could have given rise to biological structures unlike anything found in later evolutionary stages. If this fossil is found to contain chemical markers inconsistent with known earthly biology, it could be the first real indication that life's origins extend beyond this planet. While skepticism remains high, the implications of such a discovery cannot be ignored. If confirmed, it would change everything we know about the development of life, shifting the focus of astrobiology towards searching for similar biological traces on Mars, Europa, and other celestial bodies. The study of this fossil may guide future space missions, altering the way we look for extraterrestrial life by teaching scientists to recognize the unexpected. The controversy surrounding this fossil is unlikely to be resolved quickly. Science demands evidence, and extraordinary claims require extraordinary proof. Until more definitive analyses are conducted, the debate will continue. Some will argue that it is nothing more than an evolutionary anomaly, a species that existed briefly before vanishing without a trace. Others will maintain that its presence in the fossil record is too unusual to be explained through conventional means, urging further investigation into possibilities that challenge everything we know about Earth's biological history. One of the most intriguing aspects of this discovery is how it highlights the limits of human understanding. Scientists have spent centuries unraveling the history of life, yet there is still so much that remains unknown. This fossil serves as a reminder that Earth has many secrets yet to be uncovered, that the past is far more complex than we realize, and that our understanding of evolution is still evolving. The debate over its significance will continue, but one thing is certain: this discovery will not be forgotten. Whether it turns out to be an evolutionary outlier, a missing link, or something even more mysterious, it will push the boundaries of scientific inquiry for years to come. It may spark new research, lead to further discoveries, and inspire the next generation of scientists to question, explore, and challenge what we think we know. The final question remains: is this truly an alien fossil, or just an evolutionary puzzle waiting to be solved? At this stage, the evidence is inconclusive, but the possibility alone is enough to capture the world's attention. If this fossil does not belong to any known category of Earth's life, then it forces us to reconsider the origins of biology itself. Could it be the first real evidence of extraterrestrial influence on our planet? Or is it a testament to the vast, unknown depths of Earth's own evolutionary history? Let us know what you think. Could this fossil be proof of something beyond Earth? Is it an evolutionary relic that simply challenges our understanding, or could it hold the key to one of the greatest mysteries of all time? As more research unfolds, one thing is clear. This fossil has opened a new chapter in the search for answers, and the truth behind its existence may be more astonishing than anyone ever imagined.